Sister Vassa is a nun with powerful enemies. Since she spoke out against Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Russian Orthodox Church has wanted to silence her.
I ended up being penalized and finally also defrocked because I would not be silent on this issue.
Church leader Patriarch Krill is a staunch ally of President Vladimir Putin. He denies that Russia has engaged in a war of aggression.
Russia has never attacked anyone.
For the nun, standing up to the powerful church hierarchy has had serious consequences.
Good morning, everyone. It's Sister Vassa, and welcome back to Morning Coffee, June 3rd. All right,
Sister Vassa isn't your average nun. For years, she's been putting out a weekly podcast dealing with questions about faith and counseling. She makes a living from giving lectures and publishing books.
This week, I'll be talking to you about the upcoming Feast of Pentecost, and I'll also be talking to you about what we celebrated this past Sunday, which was the Sunday of the 318 Fathers of the First Ecumenical Council.
Her secular name is Barbara Laren. She was born and raised in New York State, the daughter of a Russian Orthodox priest. She's currently living in Rome, making use of the city's libraries while she researches a new book. Sister Vassa has done something very few have dared to do: criticize Patriarch Kirill, head of the Russian Orthodox Church. Just like the Russian president, Kirill is a former KGB agent. And he supports Putin's military invasion of Ukraine, even though it has cost hundreds of thousands of lives in the two countries, devastated Ukraine, and destroyed numerous Orthodox churches.
Russia has never attacked anyone. It's incredible that such a large and powerful country has never attacked anyone. It has only ever defended its borders.
It's an absurd distortion of reality. In Ukraine, Russia's army has destroyed over 600 churches, many of them Orthodox. Sister Vassa accuses Kirill of pandering to the powerful Russian leadership.
He is pronouncing that all the sins will be washed away from someone in the Russian army, he's talking about, that goes and kills in a war of aggression.
After she publicly denounced the church's stance, a bishop in New York ordered her to remain silent. She refused.
I ended up being penalized and finally also defrocked because I would not be silent on this issue. I was told that I have to stop all of my work, that I'm not allowed to do any internet work anymore, and that I must enter an unspecified convent within a few weeks' time.
The decision was published by the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. DW asked the church to comment on how the decision was reached and its stance on Sister Vassa's criticism, but didn't get a response. Where does she find the courage to keep speaking out? She shows us a place in Rome that's especially meaningful for her, with churches originating from the first centuries after Christ.
We have pagan depictions alongside biblical and Christian depictions here, because we're in a time that is a transition from paganism to Christianity, if I really oversimplify.
She sees alarming similarities between then and now.
Worshipping the god of power or of war to the point where you're sacrificing your own people, the way we see the Russian regime doing, these are signs of paganism.
Next door, there's a mosaic dedicated to St. Agnes. Beneath the church are the catacombs, an underground cemetery that includes the tomb of St. Agnes. It is said that the young Agnes died a martyr in the 3rd century after refusing to get married. She wanted to dedicate her life to God alone. following her conscience and overcoming fear. These qualities make St. Agnes a role model for Sister Vassa.
The fear of taking responsibility for your words and saying what's not popular sometimes, I think that that is a very crippling thing that doesn't allow us to grow or to really live worthwhile lives.
Such courage also exists much closer to the here and now, including in Russians who have stood up to the regime.
We have examples also in our day of faithful Christians, Orthodox Christians also, like Alexei Navalny, who stood up to falsehood and corruption, and at the same time they had this really surprising fearlessness and even joy.
Sister Vassa takes us back to the city center. The recently deceased Pope Francis is buried in this church. While he was Pope, he met with Patriarch Krill. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Sister Vassa asked Pope Francis about the Russian Patriarch.
He said to me, "But we are all brothers." He said, "Siamo tutti fratelli." And I said, "I don't think Patriarch Kirill of the Russian Orthodox Church is your brother, because he is calling the war something holy. He's supporting this war, and I find that to be a blasphemy against the Holy Spirit."
Today, Sister Vassa is attending a conference with other theologians from all over the world. They're meeting at the Angelicum Pontifical University in Rome, which originated in the 13th century. The attendees are Catholics, Copts, Orthodox clergy, and representatives of Eastern churches. Almost all of them are men. Sister Vassa, who holds a doctorate in theology, is one of the few women here. Proceedings begin with a performance by a choir from the Coptic Church in Egypt.
Here, I have people that I know, and I also know a lot of the people speaking at this conference, not only Orthodox scholars. So for me, it's important to reconnect with friends. It's important to find out what they're working on.
Not far from the conference venue is St. Peter's Square with its famous basilica. Both are part of Vatican City, the seat of the Catholic Church, and home to the Pope. Both pilgrims and tourists come here in their thousands every day. But very few people are allowed here. This is where Sister Vassa and the other conference participants are heading. Amid these magnificent surroundings, they'll have an audience with the newly elected Pope Leo XIV. In fact, the Pope makes a rather modest entrance and apologizes for running late. He leads the group in prayer. After half an hour, the participants head back to continue the conference. We want to find out more about the relationship between the Russian Orthodox Church and the state. At Rome's Pontifical Oriental Institute, we meet Orthodox Church expert Stefano Caprio.
Historically, the role of the Patriarch has always been to support the state, from the czars to the Russian federations. It corresponds to an ideal from the late Middle Ages, where Moscow was said to be a third Rome. So the Church determines the state.
In communist times, millions of the Orthodox faithful were brutally persecuted. Because of this history, Kirill has a lot of credibility among many Russians. That reputation is something Putin has taken advantage of when it comes to his invasion of Ukraine. And anyone who speaks out, like Sister Vassa, faces punishment.
They want to discredit me by saying she's not a real nun, she's not Vasa, she's somebody else. This would be degrading to me in the Orthodox world.
She says that the world of Christian Orthodoxy will always be her spiritual home, but not the Russian Orthodox Church. Today she's taking part in a service at San Teodoro, a Greek Orthodox church in Rome. Orthodox churches are often specific to a nation. In recent years, Ukraine has also established an Orthodox church. Sister Vassa feels welcome there.
It was natural for me to switch to the Orthodox Church in Ukraine because I have friends there and I have long collaborated as a liturgical scholar with professors at the Orthodox Church of Ukraine's Theological Academy in Kiev.
Sister Vassa is a remarkable woman and an unusual nun. In her free time and when she's exercising, she chooses not to wear a habit. Male Orthodox monks sometimes take off their habits, but when nuns do it, some in the church see it as a provocation. Despite her conflict with the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, Sister Vassa has no doubts about her identity as a nun.
I would say I became a nun because it's my vocation. I believe I was called to it, and my mother always thought that I would not get married and become a nun.
It's a calling that she won't allow anyone to take away from her, especially not bishops who condone the war in Ukraine.